Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple, your no shit gaming news video. That's 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. After many years of botching the franchise, EA's next shot at a decent Star Wars game comes in the form of Star Wars Squadrons, a squad-based multiplayer spaceflight simulator set between episode 6 and 7, and it even has a bit of a single-player campaign. You get access to several ships which fit into different classes to fulfill different roles as what remains of the Empire takes on the New Republic. It is developed by EA Motive, which is the studio that handled the ship-based combat in Battlefront 2, which was one of the highlights of that game for me. Squadrons launches today and has received pretty positive critics reviews on Metacritic and OpenCritic with 81 and 80 respectively. User reviews won't be up until tomorrow on Metacritic, but at the moment the Steam page has it on mixed reviews based on around 700 reviews. The highest critic review I can find seems to be from PC Games N by Ian Boudreau, who gave the game 9 out of 10. After such a long wait for a successor to X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, Star Wars Squadrons feels like a lucky shot with a proton torpedo. Boudreau praises the feeling of the flight mechanics, especially with a flight stick peripheral, but criticized the short length of the campaign and limited modes for multiplayer. One of the weakest scores comes from French outlet Gameblog by Camille Allard, who gave the game 7 out of 10, which still isn't bad. Despite its small size, Star Wars Squadrons remains a good experience and a very welcome game for Star Wars fans. It only remains to hope that additional content arrives to bring a little more consistency to the fleet battles, which for now are closer to the skirmish than the real battle. They also praise the visuals and gameplay sense of speed, but criticize the lack of epicness and general lack of content. In between the scores of these two outlets lies VG247 at 4 stars out of 5 by Alex Donaldson. He describes it as a tight package which may lack some content but is very good at what it does. Squadrons feels like more than the sum of its parts. Most importantly, it does exactly what it sets out to do, and it does it very well indeed. It's EA's smallest scale console Star Wars title yet, but also its best. Fleet battles feel a little long and sometimes listless, and some will no doubt pine for a little more content. Personally, I would have really liked to see 20 player or more deathmatch mode, but it's nevertheless difficult to really criticize such a tightly wound complete package. As such, it's an easy recommendation. This point is something shared across most of the reviews. It's not the scale of something like Battlefront or Jedi Fallen Order, but it's not trying to be, and comes at a lower price point because of it. Polygon, which doesn't give numbered review scores, spoke very fondly of the game, with Charlie Halling recommending it. Simply put, Star Wars Squadrons is the total package. If all you have at your disposal is a console, a decent TV, and a working controller, you're going to have a wonderful time. If you have a throttle stick and rudder pedals, you're in for a treat. And if you happen to be able to afford VR, you may never want to take the headset off again. VR is an important thing to note with this game, as it seems to be one of the biggest criticisms among a lot of the Steam users. Having a VR headset and looking around in an iconic ship is certainly going to be pretty awesome, but many are complaining about not being able to use VR controllers and being stuck with mouse and keyboard inputs. The recommended way to play seems to be with a hands-on throttle and stick setup in VR, but obviously that's an additional cost factor. So it's just something to be aware of if you're planning to buy this game specifically for VR. Many outlets are still in the process of solidifying their reviews and scores, so I'll finish with one more from GameSpot, which published its campaign review by Edmund Tran. As my experience stands right now, the campaign of Star Wars Squadrons is a solid showcase of set pieces that conveys what's possible with the game's engaging flight combat mechanics. Juggling all tasks required on your cool starfighter while soaking in the sights and sounds of Star Wars has been a real treat in the first 8 hours, even if I'm left a bit wanting. When it comes to the game's story, the general consensus is that it's fine and fits nicely into the Star Wars box, but it isn't going to shock you or take the universe in any new places. It does seem like the devs may have wanted to make the game dedicated to VR, but then had to change it to make it more accessible and ended up undercooking some of those elements in the process. By all accounts, Squadrons is a happy medium between a complicated flight simulator and a fun arcade space shooter. It currently has no microtransactions and is at the lower price of £34.99 in the UK. So if you want a tight Star Wars space experience similar to that of TIE Fighter or Rogue Squadron, then you're in luck. But if you want a compelling story with a bit more to offer thematically and more content, then you might want to skip this one. And next up, Epic Games is considered to be the enemy of many PC gamers for its approach to exclusives, but now GOG is stepping in to help solve that problem. GOG is one of many PC games launchers that exist in the industry now, and is about to launch an upgrade for its GOG Galaxy 2.0 service. GOG Galaxy basically acts as an index for all the different accounts and launchers you have on your system and puts them all in one place so you don't have to keep switching between them. With this update, you'll be able to buy games from other storefronts within GOG rather than having to go there directly. According to a GOG forum post, we created GOG Galaxy 2.0 to give players a better way of organizing all their games across multiple gaming platforms into one library. Since its launch, the most requested new feature has been the option to buy games not only from GOG.com, but from other platforms as well, straight from the GOG Galaxy app. In the new store, we will be welcoming games from both GOG.com and beyond, including titles previously exclusive only to other gaming platforms. With the internal beta launching today, invited users will have the option to buy games from a select selection of hand-picked Epic Games Store exclusive titles alongside all GOG.com games. Most importantly, all purchases are covered by our 30 days refund policy as well as 24/7 human support. This is a great step towards making PC gaming more convenient, as players invited to the test phase will now be able to buy games from the Epic Games Store without having to open the launcher.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
All this sounds like great news to me as an outsider to the PC marketplace, but according to some of the community posts, this is not what people wanted. Since Galaxy 2.0 is still in beta, that means that it still has plenty of issues that remain unsolved. On the GOG wishlist for features, Linux support has the most votes by a considerable margin, meaning that this definitely isn't the most requested feature as their posts claim. Many people are very critical of this update as it's been added while so many other issues haven't been solved. As a non-PC player reading this story, I thought that this was great news as it removes one of the barriers for modern PC gaming, but evidently many people really aren't happy about it. Am I being really naive here? Do any of these complaints resonate with you, or is this just the internet being mad at everything as usual? One concern over this is that GOG is specifically branded around being DRM free. Games sold on other platforms may or may not have DRM implementation, which may be an issue as now some games purchasable through GOG will indeed have DRM. Some are going so far as to say that this is an anti-consumer move because they're cooperating with Epic, and of course Epic are always the bad guys, but I just can't understand how anyone would think that. Epic is very restrictive, yes, okay, cool, I get that, but GOG is literally opening up its service even more and providing more options, which is actively pro-consumer. You're getting more stuff, which makes your life easier. Again, maybe I'm being naive here, but I see nothing anti-consumer about this, so let me know if I'm wrong. Of course, adding more important features that more people actually want is probably the more appropriate thing to do, but this is still far from being wrong. And finally, Smash Bros has just had its latest character announced, and it kind of broke Twitter for a while. The new character is Minecraft Steve from, you guessed it, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Steve has been rumored pretty much every time a new character is due to be announced, but now he's finally here for people to get excited about or scream about into the void. As well as Steve, Alex, Zombie, and Enderman are also joining the game, but at this point it's unclear if these are just reskins or Echo Fighters, and more information is coming this Saturday. I would say I'm a little let down by the addition of Steve because I don't really like Minecraft, but Sakurai just does whatever the hell he wants to with Smash, and I just think it's funny, so I'm never disappointed anymore. It does seem like a bit of a random time to drop Steve and co, especially since if I was at Nintendo, I would have jumped at the chance to do some cross-promotion opportunities by adding Crash. Oh well, I'm neither here nor there on this one, to be honest. Wake me up if they ever add Dante. And that's your lot for today. If you enjoyed this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost. Hit subscribe and the bell if you want to stay up to date on all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. That's all for today. I've been Henry Cooper. Bye for now.